want to come back and follow up and hear more about this webinar later, you'll be able to tap into the recording at any time. So after this event, you'll receive an email, and if you want to have the recording sent along to you, we'll do that. So keep that in mind as well. Again, thank you all for joining us today. There's a couple things that will come up during the course of the event. There'll be a couple of polls that will come up that if you answer quickly, that would be much appreciated so we can get moved along with the webinar. None of our polls are you making any commitments, so if you have interest, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. Secondly, if you develop any questions along the course of the webinar as well, there's a place for you to go ahead and type them in and hit send. We'll get them asked and answered of Dave or myself just as quickly as we can. And keep in mind that if you have that question, many other people will as well. So before we get started here with the meat of the webinar, I wanted to go in and talk about just a couple of things. We'll get moving along here. The first thing that I want to talk about is a two-day training academy. So we've got one coming up here, and that's actually full. It's on the 17th through the 19th, and we have two more before the year is over. One is in late August, and the other is in October. But we talk at our Life and Annuity Academies on a number of subjects, but most of them are built around sales and marketing. So look before you there on the screen and get some of the ideas of some of the things that we talk about. And I'll shoot up a poll here in just a moment as well. But the bottom line is that our Life and Annuity Academies are all expense paid. We take care of your travel, we take care of your hotel and your meals while you're there. You're usually going to be out of your office for about 3 days, one day of, mostly where you're traveling. And then on Friday, which is usually the last day, we usually adjourn about lunchtime, and then you'll be back on your way back to your location after that. So you're going to be out of your office for a good solid 3 days, so that's kind of your donation to the cause. But the bottom line is that what we talk about at sales, marketing, growing your business, you see right ahead at the very top of that list is 4 top producers it present. We think that's kind of the key to the effectiveness. This has become recognized in our industry as maybe one of the better sales and marketing meetings there is out there. Some of it, of course, is because we take care of the cost, but a lot of it is because of the what we have for subject matter, the things that we cover. So do we talk about product? For sure. Do we dwell on product for long periods of time? Frankly, no. If the folks there, what we're looking for is folks that have got kind of that 101 under their belt, know most of the ins and outs of product, wanting to learn more about what's going on in the industry, wanting to learn more about what folks are doing to be successful, and wanting to learn more about things that they can do to grow their business and the kind of the marketing base that they need to establish. So if that is something that might be of interest to you, why don't you go ahead and mark this poll. So if you mark this poll yes, what's going to happen is you're going to get an email from us, and it'll have a sample agenda, and it will also have a registration form. If you look at the agenda and it kind of fits into what you're thinking, then go ahead and fill out the registration form. And what that does is alert us to the fact that you're interested in attending. And then our next academy is coming up this year, and probably even into early next. We'll give you a call and see if those dates fit for you. So again, as with all of these polls, you're not committing to anything. You're just letting us know that you have some interest. So I appreciate you marking that poll when you have a minute. And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to have Dave give you just kind of his feeling about the academies in general.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. This is Dave Pimper, producer and coach with IAMS. Yeah, the Annuity Academies are unique. Most of the type of conferences and academies that I've gone with FMOs, and I've been to my share through all of the years, or even broker-dealer or insurance, most of it has been product training, or almost all has been product training. What happens with IAMS, Insurance Agency Marketing Services, is that they really have a good feel of how their bread is buttered, and it's buttered by the production of course, the producer. And so what happens is the majority, not all, we certainly talk about some product, but the majority of those annuity academies really fall within two camps. One is what marketing ideas, what sales ideas, what productivity ideas can help that producer increase their business. And the second thing is it's really pretty interesting, but I know there's networking that goes on with most conferences like this, but the kind of the family atmosphere, the networking that goes on, people who you're talking with that are not in your backyards or your neck of the woods, you really get some great ideas. I mean, great ideas. And so there is certainly work time and training time, but what's interesting about IAMS is they have a portion or a share of free time, but normally, whether over dinner or over drinks, but normally when you're talking back and forth and networking, you're getting some great ideas of how to improve your practice. And improve your practice, i.e., I really am talking about, I'm really talking about how to increase your production. And so yeah. So you know what? If you've never been to Annuity Academy, IAMS it's pretty special. I can't say it is the top one in the nation because of course I haven't been to every FMOs, but you know what? The ones that I have been, it ranks there right at the very, very top. So I'm going to shoot this back to Steve, but if you've got questions on that, if you do mark yes and you want to talk to me when we're done about Social Security seminars, then we can certainly talk about that also. So I'll hand it all over to Steve Murray.
Good morning. As you probably noticed, Dave is in-house with us here today, so there's a little bit of racket as we exchange the headphone, but it's great to have him in-house, and I can actually see the enthusiasm with which he operates. So thank you all. That poll is going to be open, and I'm going to leave that open for about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it down. I see that we have plenty of interest there, which is good and not at all surprising. For those of you that are unable to vote, if you would, please just let me know. Call 800-255-5055. Give me a minute, and I will send you that same email out as well that has that registration and a sample agenda for you to review. So obviously with everything happening with the DOL, this effect going into effect on June 9th, we're going to have some interesting conversations about that, and I think that's going to be key for many folks with this upcoming meeting. But there's going to be a lot yet to be known about that, even at the August and October meetings as well. So thank you all. I'm going to close that poll out. I see that there are a number of you that didn't have a chance to vote. Looks like 5 or 6 of you, actually a small contingent. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. If those of you that were not able to vote want to give me a call at 800-255-5055, we'll get everything straightened out. Thank you very much. And with that, let's get moving along here. So I want to make sure that you are all aware of our new producer bonuses. And as I look at our group of attendees, we've got a number of you that are just getting started with IAMS, which thank you for that. During the next 180 days of your appointment with us, if you do business at any one of these levels, you can take advantage of these new producer bonuses. So you can see what's out there for you. I think of note, particularly might be at the $500,000 level and the $300,000 level. You see we pay for some Social Security mailing for you at the $300,000 mailing level. $500,000 level, we will pay for your mailing, we'll pay for your coaching, we'll pay for everything that you need to do to get started in that business. So we can effectively put you in the Social Security claiming seminar business when you do $500,000 in business with us at our expense. So let us help you with that. Take advantage of the new producer bonus. Boulders Resort and Spa, which is out in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona, voted one of I think it's the premier resort in Arizona a couple years ago by Travel News. It's a great spot. I've had the good fortune to go there a number of times now. Beautiful geography, tremendous golf, nice location, tremendous service, beautiful spa for those of you that enjoy that. So it's really a nice spot to also see other parts of Arizona from. We'd love to have you all join us at our Top Producers Escape. We've got plenty of time yet to qualify. It's going to be next February 25th through the 28th, and qualification ends at the end of this year. So plenty of time to still knock out $2 million of annuity premium or 1.5 of SPWL. Keep in mind that all business that you do with us counts towards qualification for our Top Producers Escape. We'd love to see you out there. A couple programs I want you to be aware of. Preferred Producer Program and Marketing Reimbursement. Marketing Reimbursement is pretty straightforward. We're going to be able to, we think, maintain it here for a while in light of the DOL regulation to see how that all pans out. But we're going to maintain it for a while here. It's a pretty simple program. The way that it works is when you do business, we put money into your account, and then when you have expenses that are associated with marketing of your business, you send them into us, and we match your spend dollar for dollar. So we'd love to have you take advantage of that. Many of you already do. Congratulations on that. We're big believers here in the marketing marketing. We think establishing your brand and letting people see you and know a little bit more about your business in light of the high level of interest and people that are looking for safety, security, guarantees, and income is the right thing to do right now. We want to help you with that however we can. Additionally, there's a program that we have called Referred Producer Money. We call it RPM. It's, again, a fairly simple program. You refer someone to us, they get appointed, we send you a check. As they do business, we continue to send you checks, and those are the biggest checks that we send out now. We send them out on a quarterly basis, and much of our business over the past 31 plus years has been generated by folks that are kind enough to refer us to their friends, and we appreciate that. Over the last 6 or 7 years, we've been rewarding that to the point now where there's some of the largest checks that we send out, and there's no checks that we enjoy sending out more. So hope you'll take advantage of the RPM program. If you know someone that might benefit from our services, products, from coaching, from our webinars, or from our face-to-face training at our academies, we'd certainly appreciate your recommendation. So thank you very much for those of you that have already taken advantage of that. And for those of you that haven't, I would appreciate any opportunity to speak with you and talk with you more about our RPM program. I want to make sure that you are familiar with our creative services. There's a lot of information on this, and it really, the key here is that I want you to know that you have at your disposal a group of people that are very well ingrained in our business, know what works to help you in the marketing and brand building and the day-to-day things that you can and need to do to establish your business better, and they're right here at IAMS. So a lot of guys use their marketing reimbursement dollars to take care of these expenses. We're doing that. It's not a profit center for us at all. It's meant to be a way to help our producers grow their business. And when you're successful, we're successful. So that's really what we're trying to accomplish with those folks. They do a great job. I get great feedback on them all the time, and you can see all the things that we can do to help you grow your business. So take advantage of our marketing department here. If you got a question or need some help, give Josh or Jen or Tasia a call and let them help you, whether it's something as simple as getting you a logo or getting your letterhead ordered up or helping you get your website set up or your blogging and Facebook stuff. They can do all that for you, and you'd be amazed how over time that can help your business grow. So IAMS Wealth Management, this is going to take another quick poll here. So as many of you know, if you've seen the information or we've sent emails to you, we have established an RIA here at Insurance Agency Marketing Service called IAMS Wealth Management. We established it, really it's a happy coincidence that we established that, because it really does fit in well with what's happening on the DOL front right now. We feel they can act as a financial organization, should that be needed under the DOL. But we also know that it's a great way to increase your business if your business has traditionally been just working with people with fixed products. So we developed our background is obviously with fixed product safety guarantees. So we developed our investment platforms and our marketing and everything around that is kind of its basis. And so IAMS Wealth Management, if that's kind of the focus of your business, I think you'll really like what they have to offer. We're getting great feedback on our fee structure, our cost of doing business, and all of our marketing collateral that we make available to you, including all the software. So if you want more information on that, what I'd like you to do is just check yes on this poll, and we'll put you in touch with Charles Hiring. He is running the IAMS Wealth Management platform from a marketing standpoint, and we'll have him send you out a package of information. If you want more information or if you want to talk to him in person, you can then speak with him after that. So if you'd like more information on the IAMS Wealth Management, what I'd like you to do is check yes on that poll. If you are interested maybe in getting a Series 65 and you need some assistance with that, we've got a great program to do that, where we help with the expenses of it, as well as, more importantly, helping you through the process and kind of helping you on a day-to-day basis through the study process. If that's of interest to you, check yes on that. If you have a Series 65 and you want to see what the fee and payout structure is and what the technology that we make available to our IARs, please check yes on that as well, and we'll get you out that information. Bottom line, if you want to expand your business beyond traditional fixed products, from insurance products to being able to offer more global investment advice and products, and you want to chat more about that, just check yes on that poll. And again, you all have been great about voting quickly. I appreciate that. In the interest of getting moved on, what I want to do is close that poll out. Again, about the same number of folks haven't voted, so my guess is that's probably a technical issue. For those of you that have interest, were unable to vote, give me a call here at 800-255-5055. Just ask for Steve, or if I'm unavailable, ask for Charles. Charles Hiring Jr., and he can actually send you out the information or walk you through it over the phone as well. So again, thank you for voting so quickly, and I'm going to close that poll out. I'm going to skip over the annuity alternative because I want to get right on to Social Security claiming strategies, seminar marketing with Dave Pimper. So many of you know Dave. For those of you that don't, Dave has 30 plus years of experience in the business. He's got 440, 450 seminars under his belt since the early 80s. Beyond that, he has been a business coach with us now for about 11 years, joined us on each of our top producers meetings, qualified since we met him for the first time way back when. Seems like forever ago to me. So an accomplished producer, an accomplished coach, and an accomplished seminar. What would you call that, Dave? A seminarian? Accomplished seminar presenter. Beyond the presenting part of it, Dave would tell you that a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that goes on is really key, and we'll talk more about that later. But in the interest of time, I'm going to turn this over to Dave and let him walk you through seminar or Social Security claiming strategies and seminar marketing.
Good morning again, everybody, and thank you very much for being on the webinar. This will take about maybe 30 minutes to 35 minutes, so we will be done by the top of the hour. And I'll tell you what, seminar marketing, first of all, it's not for everybody, and I certainly know that. I've done since started in 1981, but started doing seminars actually in 85 or 86, and so I've done it for 30 years for seminar marketing. And you think 400, and I think yesterday I did a Social Security seminar, and I'll tell you about that because it's set up just about just like it's supposed to. In fact, we did one. Normally I do it on the same week, but we had trouble getting the booking that we wanted to at the Omaha Library, actually the Millard Library, which is West Omaha. So we did one at a Metrotech, which I do. It doesn't normally pull quite as well as a library, but I had a seminar not today, but Tuesday, a week ago at Metrotech. And then I had the second part of the Social Security seminar was yesterday at Millard. And so what happens is that seminar marketing, it absolutely does work. This happens to be no meal. I don't mind paying for a meal, but this does not have a meal. It's strictly from the educational standpoint. And what happens, people are pretty eager on this type of a topic. Just a little bit about myself. I work in my hometown of Fremont, Nebraska. I had a practice in a southern city in Georgia for 17 years, then moved back about 13 years ago. And I always did a little bit of, I never was really a straight insurance person. I always did more brokerage or securities business than insurance, but I did some fixed annuity business. But now really I enjoy, I can see where it's good for my client, the fixed indexed product. What happens is about 25% of my business is really from fixed indexed, and about 75% of my business is from securities in one way, either commission-based or fee-based. What happens in our society as far as being a producer, you got to think about how the business is run. And the business, our business is, I always say this is a pretty simple business. It's certainly not an easy business, but it's a simple business. We have to get in front of enough qualified prospects first, and then we have to close X amount of business so we have happy clients and that we have a happy spouse because money is coming on in from commissions or fees. What happens is that that two-part scenario, what is by far the most important there is to get in front of enough people. I'm always very, very concerned about, I'll be coaching, talking about coaching someone, maybe in production coaching, and he'll say, oh yeah, he said, all I got to do is just, get him in front of me and I'll knock him down. I'll say, give me an idea of what you think your closing average is. And I mean, I'll have people say, I think my closing average is right at 90%. Well, I will tell you, I've done this business since 1981, And I laugh. Anyone who says it's 80 or 90% when the industry average is 22%, I'll just say you think that you will have run out of family to pitch by now. Yeah, or they're not talking to nearly enough people, you know. So what happens is that we have a seminar called the I Am Seminar Series, which we've got a suite of seminars and working on more to add to that. But there's no doubt. I think that the hot spot right now, sweet spot happens to be with Social Security claiming. So let's go in. If you've got any questions, certainly type those on in, and I'll be more than happy to go on in and to answer those for you. Okay, so let's start. What baby boomers need to know. So we're mailing to people here on a hard mailing, and we do also some digital, some digital social media advertising, but we're looking at that age group from 58 to 67. Okay, so that's that pre-retired and retired crowd. Now, of that 58 to 67, here's the questions that those folks have. Last night, when the people came on in, the 27 people who came on in, okay, the 14 or 15 buying units that I had, husband and wife being a buying unit, single being a buying unit. Here's the questions they had. They want to know, when should I apply for benefits? What's the best age to apply for benefits? Coordinating with my spouse. How does that work? File and suspend and restricted. If I take early, how much do I lose? If I delay, how much more will I earn? The survivor benefit, the divorce benefit, the new Social Security laws through the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. You know, and one of the big questions is, will it be there? They're concerned, will it be there? And as we all know, I'm 62 years old, but when I started, you know, in the business world after graduating from college, yeah, they said, hey, those are what payroll taxes are. Here's what you're putting on in, and it's going to be great. But you know, yeah, but you better invest on your own, because Social Security is never going to be there for you when you retire. Well, they're going to be wrong. It is going to be there, and it's going to be there in a fairly strong way. You see articles like this much more. This happens to come from Kiplinger's. This was back in December of 2015. Never saw those 10, 15 years ago. So why seminar marketing with Social Securities? You know what? 94% of the people in the U.S. have Social Security. They have 40 quarterly credits, which is about 10 years of work, even working part-time. They'll have a Social Security benefit. Social Security was started in 1935 under FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and it was started as a social program, and it really was for people who just didn't save. I mean, this is not supposed to be the end all for your income upon retirement. Is supposed to be a supplement. So very timely information. Very few people understand it. Perfect for educational seminars. Remember, they're not a dinner seminar. Those are educational seminars. The new Social Security laws, the Bipartisan Budget Act 2015, people want to know something about that. I think it's a perfect age demographics if you're working with the people who have money. You know, young people don't have money. When you still got kids at home, you're paying for a lot of different things, but a lot of those are empty nesters, and they're at the very height of their value in their 401k retirement plans or their 403b, 457s, whatever. I think those are more educational in nature. They're less sales in nature. Like we walk you A through Z of the seminar itself. I'll tell you right now, if you've done seminars and you haven't had success with them, don't just close your eyes to seminar marketing. Having a coach, having someone who's done 400 plus seminars kind of go hand in hand with you. For example, when I do a dinner workshop, we use name tags. We don't use name tags with this. When I'm doing a dinner workshop, we've got people grouped at a 4-top or a 6-top, and it's a social event. I don't do that here. They're in library kind of classroom sitting in a chair. I go in and I work the room in a dinner workshop. I'm there. I'm Dave Pimper. I'm the presenter. Don't do it with this. No, I come in about 5 minutes beforehand and say, we're not going to take any questions. I take questions at the dinner workshops. I don't take questions here. This is a different kind of workshop. Not that I don't do the others. I certainly do dinner workshops. But Social Security is unique in that you will get someone who will never go to a dinner workshop, but that high net worth person really wants to maximize their Social Security, and they'll come to an educational workshop just like this. I always kid that the prospects need us more than we need them. Well, in reality, that may not be true, but they'll hunt you down to get the free report. We work with Horse's Mouth, a third-party vendor, that for $500 you get the workshops themselves, and I've tweaked those some, but you also get the software to run the reports. That's very, very good. We like to hold them at libraries or colleges. I think the conversion rate for setting appointments is a little higher, normally a little higher. Our goal is to have 10 or more, which I got, 13 from this last workshop. I get 13 appointments, and I'll tell you right now, you're bound to uncover some business. You just are. And the transitioning, some people think it's a bait and switch. It absolutely is not. To go in and to really find out when a person's key time to take their Social Security, or what's available in the 2,700 rules that's enacted by the Social Security Administration, you need to know a little bit about what they're earning now. You need to know what their assets are, their 401ks and their investable assets or brokerage CDs, the life insurance, whole life, etc., cash values. You need to know a lot of different things. You need to know a little bit about what their expenses are, what their goals for this money is, what their goal for the money they have, because this money, this Social Security, it really is the most flexible working. I kind of call it the 5 pillars of income. You have wages, you've got pensions, if you're fortunate enough to still have that when you retire, investable assets that can pull an income stream, required minimum distributions at 7.5, which are forced upon you by the U.S. government if you have IRA or qualified or retirement money. Yeah, we find out all of this. And there's a step-by-step way when I'm coaching that I explain how to do this. And you know what? Some of this, or a lot of this, kind of was trial and error on my part. I burned through a lot of good prospects, probably the first 10 or 15 that I talked to, but then I really started getting the feel of kind of how it works. And so my coaching, the 5 sessions of coaching, take about 45 minutes each, and then a lot of backup material, all of our attachments. So we got about 30 attachments, 25 to 30 attachments over those 5 sessions. You get and work with exactly the same track that I'm working with. But that transitioning is very, very important. Remember, if you got any questions, certainly, put them on in. So will it be there for me? Yeah. They could tell you for years and years it won't be. But right now, there's $2.88 trillion of either government guaranteed bonds or IOUs from the government, which is the same backing that the American dollar has, same backing that government bonds have, that backs that trust fund. So here's what happens. There's 3 key ages or dates that are important in Social Security. One is, what is the first date you can take Social Security? That's 62. Can't take it at 60 or 61. There's unique ways through survivor benefits and disability that you could, but not from an individual benefit. 62 is the earliest you can take. What's the latest that you want to take by, or you lose your benefit? Age of 70. What happens if you don't take it 70? Say goodbye to the benefit. You just don't get it. Government would love you to do that. And then there's one in the middle, which I'm talking about on this slide, called full retirement age. Sometimes it's called normal retirement age. Yeah, what happens here is that if we're born from 43 to 54, so from January the 2nd of 1943 to December the 31st of 1954, if you're born in that time period, your full retirement age is 66. Then for every year, like I was born in April of 1955, got to add 2 months. Someone born in 56, 4 months, 57, 6 months, and so forth to 1960 or later, their full retirement age is 67. So if you're born 43 or later, your full retirement age is somewhere between 66 and 67 years of age. Now, what's kind of interesting about this is, if you have a newborn baby right now born at the hospital today, what's the full retirement age of that baby? 67. That's the maximum for full retirement age. That's when you get full benefits. If you take earlier than full benefits age, it's reduced. If you wait later up to 70 and let it grow, it gains a delayed retirement credit. That's kind of Social Security claiming in a really narrow nutshell. Now, What happens if you take it 62? Yeah, your full, say you're going to get $1,000 at full retirement age, you'll get a 25% discount called an actuarial reduction. All benefits are calculated from full retirement age, FRA. And when you see primary insurance amount, PIA, that's the amount at your FRA. PIA at FRA, primary insurance amount at your full retirement age. Okay? Or later. Yeah. Now, what happens is that if you take it 62, you're in full, your full retirement age is 66, which we'll just assume because the majority of the people, like last night, were probably between 62 and 66. Yeah, your full retirement age is 66. You're going to get a 25% reduction. If you take it 63, it's an 20% reduction, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Till at 66, you get the full amount. So if you take early, it's reduced. You get it earlier, and there is a break even for a single person. It's probably somewhere between 78 and 80 years of age. But if you're married because of spousal benefits, because of survivor benefits, or you're divorced and married for 10 years or longer, yeah, that could be your break even, could be sooner, might be 74, 75, 76. So it isn't just your break even on an individual person, but it's the life, it's the family value of that benefit itself. Now, if you wait longer than full retirement age, it goes up 2/3 of 1% a month. 2/3 times 12 months is 8%, or it goes up 8% a year. You don't have to hold up the full year to get the 8%. You can have partials in any month. But if you wait from 66 to 67, your benefit's guaranteed to grow 8%. And that's 8% guaranteed. It's simple, it's not compounded, but you'll also have cost of living on top of that, which is compounded. Cost of living from the Social Security Administration Trust Fund, they have 3 different levels: 1.8% inflation for the low level, 2.8 for the middle, 3.8 for the high. I like to have my slides at that middle level of 2.8. If you look historically, since World War II, inflation's been a little over 3%. Right now, it's lower than that, much lower. So inflation, yearly inflation, COLAs, cost of living allowances, were started in 1975. And on a yearly basis. But what happens is that there's only been 3 times that there has been no inflation, and actually there's 5 times there's been very little inflation. It's all happened here within the last 8 years. 2010, 2011, and 2015 had no inflation. This year, always figured from last year because it's paid ahead, what happens is it's 0.3%. But you can see interest rates probably going up now a little bit. I see CDs are going up. I had some clients say that their variable loans have gone up 0.25%. You'll probably see inflation heating up here a little bit more, especially if interest rates rise. But that's pretty substantial. 8% guaranteed by the U.S. government plus cost of living. So if that's 2%, you have a $2,000 benefit, and it grows 8% plus 2,000 or 2% cost of living. That's 10%. That means your benefit goes up $200 in 1 year, $400 in 2 years, $600 in 3 years. $600 in 3 years. There's people that work their entire life and don't have more than a $600 pension. So it could be a tremendous benefit if you're going to live long enough or don't need the money now to delay that benefit. So as we're going to go through this here, let's talk about a spousal benefit. Spousal benefit. So it says 1/2 of the primary workers, normally the person who has the higher benefit. Of course, Social Security is completely gender neutral, but when you start talking about the baby boomers, it usually wasn't the man who stayed home with the children. It was the woman who stayed home with the children, if they did. So like my wife, she was a broker. She was an investment advisor for 5 years together with myself. We had our first child. I'm kind of proud of her. She worked up to Friday, and then Saturday her water broke, and Saturday night we have the child. Yeah, but she was out of the workforce, for 17 years, and then she started administering for me again. Her licenses had lapsed. She didn't want to be in the retail business, but she's very sharp, and Amy wanted to go back in. Well, she has a very low, $600-700 is her primary insurance amount. And mine's towards the max because of just the income that I've made. So what happens on this is, let's say that in Amy's 62, she's going to be 62 in August. I was 62 in April. So let's say that we're both 62. We're both full retirement age. Let's say that John's primary insurance amount is $2,000 and Jane's primary insurance amount is $800 at the age of 66. Primary insurance amount, PIA, is $2,000 for John. Primary insurance amount, PIA, is $800 for Jane. Let's say they both want to take their money. Well, here's what happens is John takes $2,000. He has the big benefit. Now, Jane's got an option. She can go in and take all of hers, which is $800, or she can take half of John's. Half of $2,000 is $1,000. What's more money for Jane, $1,000 or $800? Ah, $1,000 is, isn't it? That $200 she gets bumps up. She gets the benefit of the higher of the two. What happens if John does not go in and take his benefit? He lets it grow 8%. Now Jane doesn't have the option. She has to take her 800. What about when John turns that on? Say it's 4 years later at 70. Ah, now Jane can go on in and take a higher benefit. She doesn't get half of the delayed retirement credits because of spousal benefits. You cannot participate in delayed retirement credits from the primary beneficiary, but she can take half of what it was at John's primary insurance amount. How much was that? $2,000. She gets $200 of a bump up, at that time period. This, and I'll tell you something, if that kind of lost you a little bit, me walking through that, do not feel bad. Only 3% of Americans in the public sector could give a workshop to explain the ins and outs of Social Security. Get a load of this. Only 15% of advisors, and I'm talking about Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, UBS, Linsco Private Ledger, whoever, MetLife, Prudential, Raymond James, whoever you're with, only 15% on an average, 15 to 17, really understand the ins and outs of Social Security. When I started, I was thinking, which was about 6 years ago, because I was getting more questions on Social Security. I knew it was complicated, and when you get older, you just don't want to go back to school again, basically. And I had no one to really help me. I did a lot of reading and trial and error, went to a workshop on Social Security that helped me some, but I called my CPA. My CPA is 65 years of age, been in the business for almost 40 years. He's got the biggest CPA firm. He's the head principal of that our little town of 26,000. So I think there's about 7 CPAs and probably 15 more administrators. Yeah. I asked him what he knew about Social Security. He said virtually nothing. I said, what do you do when people come in and ask you, Steve, about Social Security questions on claiming? He said, I refer them to the Social Security Administration. I called my banker. He's 65 years old, been in the business for 40 years. He also called him. He also knew very little, referred to Social Security. I called my a lawyer that does trust business and wills and estate planning, and he said, you know what, that's not my bailiwick. I know a little bit about it, but I refer to the Social Security Administration. So yeah, in my little town, I became the Social Security expert. They refer business to me. They refer questions to me. Yeah. I go out to civic groups and I give, it isn't just seminars. I go out to civic groups and I go in and I talk to them about Social Security. We're planning a big promotion right now that we're going to market corporations. I'm going to talk to the human resource director. Investment people, insurance people are a dime a dozen, but how many people want to go in and educate people? There are people retiring about Social Security benefits. Very, very strong to have this information and to market it the correct way. Just knowing Social Security doesn't put a penny in your pocket, but knowing Social Security and helping prospects and opening up and you can help them with their financials of how the complete holistic plan works. Boy, really, really important. If you have any questions at all, certainly type those in. I'll be more than happy to answer those. At the end of this also, we'll have a poll, one poll, and the poll will ask, do you want more information about Social Security claiming? If you do, mark yes. If you don't, mark no. So what happens is, that when that poll comes up, all that means is that Craig Jones is going to call you from my office. If you mark yes, please be available or call them back. I mean, I know you guys are busy. You're in the field. We're busy. We're in the field, and we're marketing our services from coaching. And so we've just got, and I have an outside OSJ that I've got a lot of reps that do business through our broker dealer. So that certainly is something too. If you're Series 6, Series 60, Series 6 or Series 7 license, we can certainly talk to you about if you need a home or a better home, a more flexible home with your securities broker dealer. We'd love to talk to you. But what a great way to market information that people don't know about. So on the next, just to let you know, on the next 10 minutes, we're going to go through this pretty quickly. But when we're coaching one-on-one for those 5 sessions at 45 minutes a session, you know what? We role play. There's a couple, 3 books. I've read probably 22 or 23 books, and I've got 3 really, really good books that are on Amazon. Cost you $10 a book. But just from coaching with Dave Pimper, it isn't going to just be through osmosis that you learn this. There is some study, and there's about 10 hours a week I want you to put in for 4 weeks. That's 40 hours. So you're kind of going back to school a little bit. You know, nothing comes easy. You got to kind of earn it, and earning it here is you've got to do some reading, and I can certainly help you with all the background information and the questions. But working with a coach is much easier than to doing it by yourself. I'll assure you there. So on divorce spouse benefits, here's a triple play. As long as you've been married for 10 years or longer, you're currently unmarried, and your spouse is 62. Those 3 things. Married for 10 years, currently unmarried, spouse is 62. You know what? You can claim your spouse just as your ex-spouse, the one you may not like at all, may never talk to. You can claim them just as if you're still married to them. And married couples, there's some benefits that singles don't have. Okay, so what happens is that, remember, if you're divorced and those 3 comes into play, or your clients are, what a big deal is that would be a certainly kind of a game changer when it comes to benefits. Survivor benefits, yeah. Let's just say they're Joe and Julie, they're both full retirement age, 66 or older. Joe's $2,000 benefit, Julie's $1,200. When Joe dies, and how often does the man die before the woman? 80% of the time. In our society, 80% of the time. How many times in our society, the baby boomers, is the woman younger than the guy? Happens more than half the time the woman is younger. I mean, my wife is not younger by much. She's 62, I'm 62, but she's 8 or 9 months younger than I am. It's very common in our business. Joe dies, Julie has the option to keep her benefit and let Joe's go. She could let her benefit and take Joe's, 100% of Joe's. It's a big deal. It's an $800 increase on the survivor benefit. You know what's interesting about this is, what happens if Julie doesn't notify the Social Security Administration? Bad deal. Julie has to keep the $1,200 benefit. I've had it before where a gal lost out on $40,000 worth of benefits because she never told that to the Social Security Administration. Do not make a mistake with Social Security claiming, because it'll come back and haunt you. Coordinating spousal benefits, big thing was the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015. If you were 62 on or before January 1 of 2016, you can still restrict your application. File and suspend was eliminated. It was phased out over a 6-month time period. No matter if you're 68 or 70 now, if you haven't filed and suspend, you cannot do it. So we won't even talk about it. But believe me, file and suspend and restricted is about delaying your benefit, earning the 8% retirement delayed retirement credit, and taking a spousal benefit or giving a spousal benefit in some way. Really, it's kind of free money. When I did all the folks, I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reports, restricted applications, 75 to 80% of the time had a bigger benefit than file and suspend. A lot of people have heard about file and suspend and not restricted, but restricted is really where the money is in the spousal benefit. So let's just talk about, how does that restricted application work? So no longer file and suspend, so we'll do away with this information. Let's go right into restricted. Mike and Mary are both 66 years of age, meaning they're full retirement age under this scenario. Mike's PIA, primary insurance amount is $2,000. Mary's PIA, primary insurance amount is $800. It's like we talked about before, just different names. Here's what happens. Remember, if Mary goes in and takes her benefit, and Mike doesn't want to take his benefit, remember, Mary can only go in and take her $800. She can't go in and take half of his. If she could, that'd be called file and suspend. That'd be $200 extra. But let's go in and do restricted application. Mary takes her $800. Mike restricts his application only for a spousal benefit. So in the eyes of Social Security, he starts it, and then automatically it's stopped. And it continues to earn the delayed retirement credits of 8%. And remember, cost of living is on top of that. So probably 10% or more he's getting per year by letting it delay. But you know what? In the eyes of Social Security, it started. But in reality, now through restricted application, there can still be a spousal benefit that the couple can partake in. And here what happens is Mike is going to go in and be a taker of the benefit. On Mary's $800, he's able to take half of her benefit. $400. $400. That's free money. 400 times 12 is 4,800 times 4 years is a little over $19,000. That's free money. You know how many people restrict application that would benefit them? Very few. You know why? Very few know about it. Why do I give workshops? What's the reason I give workshops? It's not to write business. That's not the reason for the workshop. It's for them to mark yes on the consultation form, hand it on into me. We meet. I impress them of what I know about Social Security, but I'm uncovering all of their assets. How exciting is that? How exciting is that? This is what Social Security workshops can do. Okay? If you have any questions, certainly just bring them on up and I'll be more than happy to answer. So as we're finishing on up, and then we'll bring up the poll here in about 2-3 minutes, but what can the Social Security Administration, what can the SSA, what can they do? First of all, if you've ever been down to a Social Security office, I call it Baskin Robbins on steroids. You pull a number, people, I mean, it's an interesting group of folks, and you're down there with them. They can estimate your best individual benefit now, what you're entitled to. You know what they can't do? They can't tell you, hey, I tell you what, I would restrict my application if I were you. That'd be the best thing. Or you could do this, or you could do this, or no. They actually cannot offer advice. Here comes right from the Social Security Administration guide. It's called their POMS, P-O-M-S manual, taking a claim. Read number D. They're supposed to provide enough information so that claimants make informed choices, but do not give advice. I mean, I just told the folks last night, on my door of my office, as people walk on into my office, it says investment advisor representative. Can you imagine a person saying, hey, Dave, I see you're an investment advisor representative. Can you give me some investment advice? No, I'm sorry, Mr. Prospect. I can't do that. I give you a lot of things, but I can't give you advice. Well, you know what? We should be happy that the government can't give advice. You know why? Because we can, and we do. And people are very, very eager to get this advice. Gosh, it's just exciting. It's an exciting topic. Now, I will say, remember I talked about work, pensions, income producing assets, RMDs, Social Security. So yeah, Social Security is the most flexible of these 5 areas. I call this pillars of income. Now, this is actual slide, but I don't have the evaluation form. But that evaluation form, see, it says yes, you can mark for an opportunity to take action, or no, you don't. What happens is that this coincides. The better job you do kind of working through this, really the better chance you are of getting an appointment. And we get it right at the meeting. Like yesterday, we got 7 appointments. I got those in hand, and Craig is calling those today. So quickly, Horse's Mouth is a third-party system, costs $512. That includes shipping and handling coming out. There's a yearly upcharge, to get everything renewed of $300 to $400. But what it does, it has 2 things. It has the PowerPoint presentation, which I've re-engineered a little bit to make it more, I think, friendly to the prospect, seminar prospect. But there's calculators. That calculator I'm telling you what, and Steve knows this too. You could easily pay. Well, just to let you know, I paid $600 a year for a calculator, but this is a very good system, and they've upgraded this calculator several times, and they've also got 300 pages that we want you to read at least 200 of those. But it talks about all the updating on the new Social Security laws of 2015. I tell you what, in today's for this type of marketing equipment, we really couldn't do it in house. So that's with horse's mouth. Okay, then myself, over 440 public seminars as of yesterday, 30 attachments with the 5 coaching sessions. If you qualify, IAMS pays for the majority of those coaching sessions. So really, as long as you qualify, what happens is that IAMS is going to go on in, they're going to pay the majority, and really your cost is, it's under a couple $100. I mean, for one-on-one coaching, once you start coaching with me, from there on out, I don't care if it's in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you can always call me and you can bounce things out, not just about Social Security, but about anything within your practice. I'm kind of like an ongoing board of directors with you. This is a very much of a turnkey system. And I say it's A through Z, but we start you from kind of the tackling and blocking all the way up to the much more complicated stuff. So it's a great feeling that you've got someone working with you. That's why a lot of times people don't give Social Security seminars, because it's hit and miss, and the chance of doing a good job in those first few workshops are really low. We really heighten those chances. No meals are served on this. I'm not against meals, but you don't have to have a meal here, because we had over 40 people from this mailing, and that's pretty darn good in today's day and age. Okay. Now we're going to put the poll up after this, and again, that poll is going to say, yes, I would like to have more information, or no, I wouldn't. The information is just a one-on-one consultation with me. It's not with one of my staff, it's with myself. We'll talk for 20, 25, 30 minutes and see if there's a fit here, or see if there's some type of a fit, maybe some other marketing things that we've got available. But you know what? And as the poll goes on up here, I'm going to go in and kind of just walk through this procrastination. Procrastination, there's a little saying I have saying, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Yeah, tomorrow never comes, does it? No. I got a man cave downstairs, and my wife bought me a sign that says free beer tomorrow. All of my son's 25-year-old son's friends love that, because it's a pretty safe bet. The reason I bring this up is because people who take action are the ones who are the most successful. If you heard something from kind of my little spiel in the last 25, 30 minutes where you say, you know what, I need to get my practice off dead center. I need to go in, and I'm in a rut right now. I need to go in and get in front of more people. I need to do something new from a marketing perspective. I'll tell you right now, and I'm not, well, I was going to say I'm not trying to be biased, but maybe I am a little biased. I think Social Security seminars are going to be one of the very top ways to get in front of qualified prospects. What happens if I just teach you Social Security? How much money will you make from knowledge? Zero. Otherwise, the people with the 150 IQs, the Mensa Societies, they'd all be salespeople in our business. And you know what? None of them are there. Why? Yeah, because of that complete left brain analytical. What happens is all the information in the world doesn't make you a more productive producer. What does is getting in front of people, showing them something that they're impressed with, that you can help them with in their financial well-being, and then they having the confidence builds from like to trust, and all of a sudden you're doing business with them. Pretty cool. I would love to talk with you. I'm going to let you talk with Steve Murray here just real quick. He's got a couple quick insights, and we're going to answer a couple questions, and then we'll finish on up here in the next 5-8 minutes.
Thank you, Dave. As Dave mentioned, just a couple of points here and a couple of things that I would add to this. Number one, our experience with seminars, as I mentioned at the outset, has grown significantly over the past 18, 19 years that we've been offering seminars, and we haven't seen any better success than what we've seen on the Social Security claiming seminars. And I have a couple of thoughts as to reasons for that, but I think the number one key is to have that assistance step by step with any seminar is critical. And so I don't that's kind of what we've learned over time, really, is that as we've progressed through this and we've seen the mistakes that have been made in the seminar business, we've seen that many of them are correctable and easily dealt with along the way. So that's why we don't offer seminars anymore without a coach attached to it, and just so that to prevent you from making that little mistake that can make a big difference in your business. So we think coach is important. Number two, when you look at the potential coaches out there that can help you through any subject matter, you've got to put Dave at the top of the list. He's been a business coach with us now for about 10 or 11 years, and he's been coaching with us on the seminar front for about 9 of those, maybe now 10 actually. So he's got good experience in coaching with seminars. Plus he is a producer in the field currently doing seminars himself, which I think, as you know, a lot of folks that do seminars or coach seminars aren't currently in the seminar business themselves. So there's things that change about seminars. And I want to say, from my experience in dealing with guys that have taken on Social Security claiming seminars, so this is probably the easiest entry-level seminar that you can do, because there really isn't a lot of showmanship involved. Rather, it's more of a teaching type venue. That's why you do them at libraries. That's why you do them at, like Dave said, community colleges, things like that, is because it really is more passing on knowledge. And you really don't want to, there's too much personal information involved in Social Security. We really don't want to be answering questions on site, so they really need to come and sit with you if they need some additional information. So the critical parts, I think, of the seminar, once you get the people in and once you get your appointments made, is then transitioning that. And Dave would be the first one to tell you that transitioning from, hey, I've got an appointment, to, hey, let's, how do we get to where we can do some business? That is really the part where a lot of folks that are experienced seminar givers do fall down, because it is a little bit different than most seminars. And since it is different, it does take a little bit of getting used to. Dave found that when he did his first ones 2-3 years ago now. I guess now it's been 4 years ago. So he had to deal with that himself, and so very well understands what you're up against and can help you with the solutions to converting from appointment to sale and from prospect to client. So very important information there. So I know we've got a couple of questions that have come up. I would end this by saying that if you are interested in doing seminars around Social Security claiming, there's probably not a better idea that you could have right now. I think it's a great thing to do. And if you're going to do that, you might as well do it with the best. And I think as you've learned along the way today, Dave is going to rank among the very best in seminars in general, and really a very accomplished presenter and a very learned Social Security claiming individual that can help you grow your business. So we've got a couple of questions that have come up, and most of those regard kind of the numbers around Social Security claiming seminars and how those work. Let me pull up a couple of them, Dave, and I'm going to hand you the headset here real quick, and we'll just kind of go back and forth here. So the first question is from Tom wants to know how many people you normally get at seminars, and then how do you convert to appointments?
Okay, yeah, Steve was just reading the question, probably couldn't hear him, but he was talking about, one of the questions was, just wants to know a little bit of the demographics of the seminar itself, how many pieces we mail, or how does digital marketing work, how many people come, and just appointments and in closing. That's a good question. I mean, it's a very fair question. So here's what happens is on a seminar like this, or what I like to do is to mail out 6,000 pieces. So we'll mail out 6,000 pieces, and just to let you know, so this is not for someone who does not have any kind of marketing budget. And the reason of this is those, and I think which is a very fair price. It's full color, 8.5 by 11. Postage, 55 cents is the cost on that piece. So if you mail out 6,000 pieces at 55 cents, you've got about $3,300 of cost are within the marketing. Now, I like social media also, and our firm, not my firm, but the Mailing House has a social media, so it's really revolved around Facebook, and we had some really good people yesterday. In fact, some good appointments, and that's $500. So you're going to somewhere between $3,300 and $3,800 is where you're going to be for marketing's workshop. You have a little bit of expense if there's a room. We don't. We have to buy a library card in Omaha, so $25 for a year. We have some cookies and coffee and so forth. But here's what happens is we mail out 6,000. We hope we get 40. And I think we had 42 or 44 from this last mailing between two workshops. So what happens is that those people that are there. So if you have 40 some people, I think we had 20. Oh, yesterday, not counting the first one, but yesterday we had 26 people, and I think we had 14 buying units. And what's pretty interesting is my goal is to get half of those people for appointments. And I'm not making this up. I mean, kind of amazingly, half of the people signed up yeses for appointments. So we got 7 appointments yesterday. It's either 7 or 8, but at least we got 7. And of those 7, so now that's just yesterday. And the day before we got 5 or 6 appointments. So we have 12 or 13 appointments. And out of that, let's say we have 12 appointments. We normally have one of those appointments will fall out. About 1 out of every 10 falls out for whatever reason. So basically, say we're at 10 or 11 appointments that we actually have, you'll normally go. I find out, the sales process of this is basically warming people up in the beginning, getting a rapport, finding assets, finding some money, asking hard question of whether they would work with you if you showed them something they understood and were confident. Yeah, then it goes to the next appointment. Half of those go to the next appointment. And then of those that go to the next appointment, we're normally going to close, I would say a half. So it goes half and a half. So if you have 14 down to 7, 7 down, you work business with 3. And so if I can put on under assets under management, and you know what? This is what I don't like about this business, because people who do what I do, everybody exaggerates, and I'm just not going to do that. You know what? If I can put on $250,000 or $300,000 worth of assets, I'm pretty darn happy. That's kind of in my wheelhouse. Have I done over $1 million? Sure. Have I been blank before? I have. Doesn't happen very often, but you know what happens? The consistency of doing workshops. If you can go in, and I certainly would do with one seminar mailing in 2. But remember this: the very first seminar you give, I don't care how much you've worked at or practiced, it's your worst one. Your first one's your worst one. Your second one is the second worst one you've ever had. The next one is the second best one you've had, and the last one will be the best one you've ever had. If you can go in and do 2 mailings, that you put the odds in your favor, you're probably going to get in front of 35 to 45 qualified people. You're probably going to have 20 appointments. Of those 20 appointments, I mean, even if you're bad at what you do for the sales process, which I hope you're not, but you're going to close 2 or 3. And if you average 250, I mean, you'd hope you can put on $750,000 to $1 million with doing, 2 full mailings. So that's kind of how it works. And I'll tell you right now, I'm a fixed index guy, and I also am a security and fee-based managed guy. But a lot of our people only do fixed indexed, or they're only doing single premium life. Now, I'll tell you what, if from Social Security, you know what, it kind of goes hand in hand with med subs, doesn't it? But I'm not a med sup guy. What my business is I'm looking for investable money. And from the insurance arena, the investable money is fixed or fixed indexed or single premium life. So I will tell you right now is there also coaching on sales process? Yeah, if you need that. But I will say this: getting off of dead center, taking that first step is the biggest thing. And Steve, we only have 2 people. I think we got 2 people who haven't voted. So if you could vote yes or no, and then we'll kind of finish out of this poll and see if there's any last questions. But I will tell you this: if you've done seminars before and they kind of petered out, or you didn't have good questions or didn't have good success, don't let that alone go in and cause you not to mark yes, or cause not to go in and go further here. I doubt if you had someone that could work with you hand in hand. Okay. Now we do have actually one more question. If you can bring that up, Steve, I'll kind of read it if it's through. Oh, it's a specific question here on age 62. Says Dave said that John and Jane are 62. Yeah, and Jane can apply for FRA at 6. No, no, no. You can't. A full retirement age has to be at 66 or later. So what happens though? The spouse can be younger, but the person, if you want, if full retirement age always is going to be 66 or later. Okay. I had one more quick question too. They want to know what the cost for coaching was, and I kind of mentioned this before. I get paid from coaching. I'm not in anybody's hierarchy. Okay, I'm not in that hierarchy for your business. I get paid from coaching. I get paid $150 per session. So 5 sessions, I get paid $750. A lot of people will fully qualify for an IM scholarship. Some, like I talked to you yesterday, Steve, is a partial qualification. But what happens is if it's a full scholarship, then IAMS pays for $555 of the $750. You can do the subtraction math. It's $195 for yourself. And we will do a seminar then. So I'm not coaching just for the sake of social, because both Steve and I know that having great information, that's good, but it doesn't bring a prospect through the door. Seminars certainly has that ability. So I'm going to let Steve go in and take it from here. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Dave Pimper with Lazarus Coaching, and I'll let Steve kind of sign it off.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you coming into the office today. I thank you all, too, for joining us. Great information as always. And as you have determined already yourself, that this could be an opportunity for you to make a major change in your business, and it's a good time to do it. There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of folks moving into the Social Security mode and looking for guarantees, safety, income to go along with it, and frankly need the assistance along the way. So we'd love to help you out in this regard. We're Insurance Agency Marketing Services. My name is Steve Murray. Number here is 800-255-5055. If you weren't able to vote on any of the polls, or if you have any questions you'd like to discuss, give us a call here. If you want to chat with Dave, we'll also put you in touch with Dave as well. I know Dave is headed out the door here to an appointment shortly, but which is a Social Security appointment, he says. But he will be back in his office probably later this afternoon, or we can put you in touch with him tomorrow. He's got great people over there. Craig and Amy are the best people in the business. They do a great job, very detailed, organized. Dave would, I'm sure, tell you that he couldn't do it without them, and I would agree with that. There's great staff. So any way that we can help you, that's what we're about here at IAMS, where our goal is to help you reach your production goals. And if we do that, we're successful and you're successful. So let us help you. Number here again, 800-255-5055. Thank you for taking a few minutes to join us today. Love to spend a little time with you here today. Would love to spend more time with you in the future. Thank you very much.